everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. As you can tell by the title, today I'm going to be showing you how I contour and highlight my face. I actually highlight and contour my face most of the time when I do my makeup. I feel like I just haven't shown you guys step by step on how I do it, but that's what I'm going to be showing you guys today. So before we get started, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a future video. So if you'd like to see how I contour and highlight my face, just keep watching. Okay, so right now I just have eye makeup on and my foundation, and this is the point where I would start doing my contour. So first I'm going to go in with highlight. I'm going to go in with the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and I'm in the shade Warm Beige. For highlight, you do want to use a concealer that's at least 1 to 2 shades lighter than your skin tone, just so we can really brighten up that face and pull those features forward. So I'm just going to take some concealer, and what I like to do is put some under the eyes. I don't like to go too down because that'll pull it down when I blend it out. So I like to take it just under the eyes a little bit and bring it out so that our eye is pulled back and it's lifted. And then I also bring it on the side of my nose so that when we contour our nose, the sides are a little bit more sculpted. I'm just doing the same thing to the other side. And then I also like to take the thinner part of my applicator and bring it down my nose to create a thin line. And that's also going to help contour our nose to make it nice and snatched. Then I like to take just a little bit and put it on my forehead, and I create this little upside down triangle shape. And if you have a larger forehead, you can pull it up a little bit more, but I feel like this is good for my size forehead. Then I also like to put a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Again, we're pulling it forward. I put some right under my lips, again with the thinner side, and same thing. All we're doing is pulling everything forward. We're making it appear larger. So our lips are going to appear a little bit bigger since we are putting the highlighter right here, and it's going to pull our lips forward. Then I like to take some on my chin. I don't do too much. I just put a little bit. So we want to bring our chin forward so that way we are taking away if we have any double chin. And then for our cheekbones, we want to get right under the hollows of our cheeks. So above is going to be where we contour and below is going to be where we highlight. So you can do this, the kissy face, but I feel like it makes it go a little bit more down and it looks very unnatural. So what you can do to make it a little bit more natural is smile. So your hollows of your cheek will go like this instead of straight down, so it looks a little bit more natural. So I'm just going to bring it from right here and then follow that. And then same thing on this side, we're just going right under, so not above. Okay, so from here I like to blend all of my concealer in. I know a lot of people like to put on their contour and then blend it all together. I feel like that can be a little bit messy, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend it in with my damp beauty sponge right now. So all I'm doing is patting it, and we wanna make sure that we just like dab it. We don't want to drag it up or drag it anywhere where it's not supposed to be. Because contouring, we really want to keep everything where we put it because it's supposed to be in a specific spot, so that way we can get a certain shape to our face. So as you can see, I'm just dabbing, doing little tiny dabbing motions, and I'm not dragging it because that's also going to take off more product, and it's also going to take off the foundation more. And then right here, I like to clean up my eyeshadow just so it looks a little bit more sharp. And then same thing down here, just making sure it stays in that Cupid's bow. And I forgot to say this for the bridge of my nose, but same thing applies right here. So when I'm doing the sides of my mouth and also the bridge of my nose, I like to squeeze it so it is a little bit more thin. So I'm just gonna do that right here, and we wanna make sure we're going in an up motion so that way, again, we're uplifting the face and it's not pulling down. That chin. Okay, and then the cheeks are very important. We want to make sure we either dab it where it's at or dab it where it's at and pull it down. So for this part, we want to make sure we don't go above where we put the line because that's all our contour. So we want to make sure we have that nice and defined line and that we're dabbing it and also bringing it down a little. And same thing on this side. So now that I've highlighted my face, I'm going to contour. So I usually will go in with the KKW Beauty Contour Stick, and I'm in a dark contour, or I'll go in with the Tarte cream bronzer in the color Breezy, which is this one. So with this one, I do have to get a brush and just dab it, so you do have to be a little bit more controlled with this and know what you're doing. As opposed to this one, it's a little bit beginner friendly because it's very precise. You just have to put it everywhere you want it. So I just want to make this a little bit easier today, so I'm going to go in with the contour stick. And there are two sides to it. There is a dark one and a dark two, so this is a little bit lighter. This is the side that I'm running out of a lot because I use that a lot more. And then this is the darker side. But I think today I'm going to go in with the darker side. So with your contour, you want to make sure that it's at least 2 to 3 shades darker than your foundation or your skin tone. I like to go a little bit darker because I find that when I blend it in, it does fade the color just a little bit. But do whatever works best for you. I usually go in with the lighter side when I'm my natural skin tone, but I'm a little bit more darker now because I have been in the sun a lot, so I'm going to go in with the darker shade. I'm going to go ahead and start with my forehead, so I'm just making a line right here. And you can also go lower if you do have a larger forehead and you're trying to make it smaller, but I feel like mine is pretty average, so I'm just going to do it right at the edge. So what we're doing with the contour is pulling back our face. So with the highlighter, we pulled forward those features, and now the places where we contour, we're pulling back those features to make a shadow. So then I like to bring it on the sides of my nose. So I like to kind of push it into my brow just a little bit, take it down the side of my nose. I like to bring it straight down. And this is really your preference, how small you want to make your nose, but I like to make mine pretty small. So again, I connect it to my brow and I just bring it down the side, and I also like to bring it around. So that's going to create more of like a button nose. And then sometimes I'll do this line across and that'll also create more of a button nose. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my cheekbones. So we already did the highlight, so you can kind of see the line a little bit from where my natural skin tone is, where the highlight is. So again, if you need a smile, go ahead and do that. But we're going to take the contour right above the hollows of our cheeks, because if we go right on it, and again, if we bring the line straight down, it's going to make our face look more pulled down, and we really want to do the opposite. We want to push it up. We want to make those features up and lifted. I really like to start where my ear starts, so right about here. I'm just going to do a smile and then bring it like that. And you don't have to bring it this deep. Sometimes I'll bring it like only here. It depends how much you want to contour. And you can even pull it more and like cup your cheek, and that'll really help the apples of your cheek to really pop out. So I'm doing the same thing over here, finding the top of my cheek, smiling, and then bringing it down. So as you can tell, I kind of did a curve shape instead of straight down. So what that's doing is making it look more natural, because it looks very natural when we smile. Our cheekbones naturally have the shadow right here instead of going straight down. I also like to do a little bit under my bottom lip, kind of like that, just straight. And it creates a shadow, so when we blend it out, your lips look a little bit more pouty. Okay, and lastly, I like to do my jawline, so I take it down right here, and then I bring it across and do the same thing on the other side. And this is just creating a more defined jaw, and it's hiding anything you have right here. So if you want to lose your double chin, just make your face look a little bit more sculpted. That's what it's doing. And I kind of like to look up and just do a few lines like that, because we are going to be blending all of this down so that way it can blend into the neck. So again, to highlight all this like extra skin. Okay, and to blend it out, I like to make it a little bit more easy by adding MAC Fix Plus or any setting spray, just so that it can blend out a little bit better. I'm just going to spray some. I'm going to go ahead and get my beauty sponge again. And right here, again, remember, we're dabbing only, pressing it where it's at, and we're also pushing it up into the hairline. So it's really important for your forehead to make sure you keep it where it's at and pushing up into your hairline, and you're not bringing it down where we highlighted. Okay, and for the nose, again, I'm gonna pinch it just so it's a little bit more easy to work with and it doesn't spread out too much. Blending it into the eyebrow. And we don't wanna make it disappear all the way. We want to just make sure it's nice blended in and the actual lines aren't showing, but we don't want to make it go away. Okay, and don't worry if it's a little bit messy. I know it's not very defined right now, but we will fix it up in a little bit. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and work on my cheeks. Okay, so with this part, we want to dab it, make sure we keep it in place, and also pull it up this time. So just how we were pulling the highlight down, we want to dab this where it's at and also bring it up just a little bit, because we are, again, uplifting the face. We wanna make sure that everything's pulling up. So that's very important with this part. I'm gonna do the same thing to this side. Okay, and then we're gonna make sure we get that lip. I like to squeeze it again, just so it doesn't create a big mess all the way down here. We just wanna make it right under the lip, so it creates a nice shadow. So now there's a little shadow. Okay, moving on to the jawline, I'm gonna move my ear and just, again, dab it. So on the sides, I just wanna dab it where it's at. Once I get to the bottom, I want to bring it a little bit down my neck, so that way it does look more blended. We just want to make sure we don't pull it up too much, because that's where our highlight is, and we don't want to mess that up. Okay, so now that we've done cream contour and cream highlight, we want to set our face. So I'm going to go in with my bronzer and my setting powder. So first I'm going to take a bronzer. You can do any one you want. I'm doing the Cover FX Monochromatic Bronzer Duo Matte and Shimmer in Sunkissed Bronze. So I just like to get a big fluffy brush. This is a little bit tapered. It's from Baddington. And I just get some of this, get some of that, tapped off the excess. So what I'm doing is basically putting it everywhere where my contour went, just to set it. So I'm gonna pat it around our forehead, everywhere where we put it. And same thing applies. We wanna push it into our hairline. And again, we don't wanna bring it too much down. So same thing applies to our cheeks. So we wanna smile and then just brush it up slightly. And then also we want to start bringing it up in small little brushes. And then to make this part a little bit more natural, I like to take my beauty sponge again, just kind of dab it around so that way it's nice and blended. So again, I'm doing the same thing on this side, smiling, dragging it up, and then blending it up. So same thing right here, we're just brushing all of that bronzer down. Since you have all this room to work with, you don't need to be too precise with it. Just make sure it gets on there and then it's blended. So now we have a lot of darkness under here, so all that is like gone. Okay, and for the smaller areas, I like to take a shadow brush. So this is actually a flat shadow brush. This is a Tarte one. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the matte side so it looks very natural. I don't mind doing a little shimmer on my forehead and my cheeks, but as far as like my nose goes, I'm just gonna do a matte contour. So I like to just stamp it. Again, same thing we did with the contour. We're brushing it into our brow, stamping that line down because we're just setting everything, and don't worry, we will blend this in as well. And then the other side. And then again, I like to take it under my nose and then do across. So I'm gonna go back in with my sponge and then just kind of dab this a little bit. You can use a brush if you want, but I feel like this blends a little bit better. And right here, we want to make sure that we're not blending it all the way in. We're just creating those shadows. And this will get a little bit more like cut and snatch when we add our setting powder in just a little bit. Okay, and now to set our highlight, I'm going to use the Dermablend Illuminating Banana Powder. And I just go in with the same beauty blender and I just dab it in. And I kind of rub it on my hand a little bit just to make sure this is a flat surface, and sometimes when you drop it in here, it is like a little bit chunky and like in one spot. So I just like to make sure it's even. And now what we're doing is just lightly pressing that under our eye. We're just setting that. And then it's really important, our nose, we want to make sure that has a lot of powder. We're really pushing it up in there, and that's kind of cutting that nose. So we really want to make sure that's nice and sculpted right there. And then bring it down and up. And then I'm taking some more and I'm doing it on my forehead, just lightly dabbing it in where I did my highlight. Do it on the Cupid's bow, some on my chin. I just do some in the middle. I don't like swipe it all over my chin, just where I did the highlight. And then I like to take a good amount, again, even it out, and then sculpt where we did the highlight under our cheekbones. So just like that. I don't like to do it too much because I find that it's a little bit hard to blend out after that, and it's very light on me. So I just kind of like dab it in so it's not too much. And again, I'm just like gonna cup it so that way it's not just going straight down. Now I'm gonna go in with a powder brush and just brush all of the excess off and kind of just brush it until it looks natural. I know on me, I am a little bit more tan, so I do have to try a little harder to get it off. And I kind of will just like sometimes blend it in with areas that have bronzer just so it looks a little bit more natural on my skin tones. I just brush it in circle motions, or you can swipe it, and then right under my eye. I make sure that I bring it on the sides of my nose and then down under my eye, and I don't push what's right here up into my contour because that's just gonna ruin the nose contour. So make sure that's nice and blended out. Okay, something that I forgot to do that I've been doing lately is I get some powder with a smaller brush. It's like a skinny brush, it's flat. and I just take some powder and I dab it where I did my highlight on my nose. So I just go all the way down. I can't believe I forgot to do this, but I've only been recently doing this. That's probably why I forgot. And then I do like on my nose flat, so it's like more of a button look, and then straight up. I just did that. Now I'm just going to lightly brush it off and then dab it with my finger, and then it just looks so much better. Like there's an actual line there now. Okay, so that's pretty much all I do for my contour and highlight. I pretty much do creams and then I set it with powders. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish my face and I will be right back. Okay guys, and that is pretty much it. This is the finished look on how I contour and highlight my face. I hope this video was really helpful. I know that I contour and highlight my face a lot, but I haven't really shown step by step. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel. We are almost at 300 subscribers and I will be doing a giveaway once we get there. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in my next video.